So it looks like there's a Happy Gilmore 2 coming out, and the first Happy Gilmore movie was absolutely wonderful. One of my favorite movies. I watched that movie over and over many times. Well, I seen the trailer, and then like they just roll out some of the same jokes, but just like different people, older people. You know, it might be a good movie, but I kind of seen that with Top Gun 2 as well, where they it's kind of the same script but slightly different. That's what it seems like. I don't know, that was just the trailer, but for Happy Gilmore. But with Top Gun 2, that's what it, kind of like just a new version, a little bit woke, but yeah, Hollywood is cooked, man. Like they don't put anything out that's original. They're too afraid to put anything else that's original, so they just put out the same crap over and over. Sequels, remakes. Like, how many Spider-Mans have they made in the last 20 years? You know what, like 10, 12? How many? It's almost like every single year they come out with another Spider-Man. And it's because people just like the same stuff over and over again. To the point of I think that most people are just NPCs, they don't want to. There's no creativity nowadays. And if people are buying the same crap over and over again, why would they change anything else? Why would they change it out? Why would they care about the art? A lot of the Hollywood it's like, it was like an art form. It's not an art form, it's just a business nowadays. Same with video games. It was an art form, now it's just a business. Same with music. It was an art form and it's just a business. Like rap. Like, it's the same beat over and over, the same hi-hat cymbals. It's like the same thing over and over again. It's just somebody different just doing it. It's the same recycled crap. And people are just buying it up like it's fresh stuff, and it's not. But that's what it's all business nowadays. And it's old. It's old to me. I'm looking at the mainstream media and I'm seeing how they portrayed Elon Musk as a Nazi because he did that my heart goes out to you, which I'm not going to replicate because it looks absolutely horrific. And since then he hasn't came out. Well, if he actually came out as a Nazi, he would have still been pushing that Nazi stuff, and he hasn't done any pushing of any type of Nazi crap. So Cory Booker does some similar gesture, and they're like, well, this is his hand. It was more powerful when it's just like, dude, stop. It's okay for you people to do it, but it's not okay for anybody else. It's like anyone on the left, the Democrats, they can't do no wrong. They're always right. They're always perfect. They never make mistakes. Even if they are looked at like in a bad light, they're not, because they're morally high. They have the moral high ground all the time. And it's like, no, you don't have the moral high ground. And you keep calling people who don't believe the same ideology as you fascist for no reason. And it's just like, honestly, I'm not a Nazi. I remember when I was younger, I had a group of friends who they fell into the whole skinhead trend, which it didn't last very long, and I avoided them. I mean, people were like, well, why'd you hang out with racists? Well, guess what, dude? Everyone's a racist at some type of level, man. And it's just like, these people, I looked at that situation and I'm like, those people aren't like that. They might be racist or whatever. People portray them as racist, whatever. But I know that's not really them. And they were just trying to fit in somewhere. And like I said, it didn't last long. I'm not a Nazi. I'm not a fascist. In some things I'm authoritarian, because I think that if you have a big group of people, that are all strangers, you have to have structure and rules. There's no way that anarchy exists with a big population of people. It can exist with like a small group of people, you know, kind of like communism. It can, you know, like family. Family is basically communism. It's basically socialism. You know, everyone does their part, especially like, if you look at Duck Dynasty, not Duck Dynasty, well, it was like a family business, you know. I'm sure that, people when they start businesses and they have their family and everything like that, they, you know, they take a pay cut for the greater good of the business altogether. But you know, when you sit here and call everyone that disagrees with you a fascist, it's like, dude, you might as well just become a fascist, because if you all think I'm a fascist anyway, then I might as well become one, when in fact they are the fascists. It's like they forget that they're the ones that try to push a vaccine on everybody. They're the ones that try to make everyone wear a mask. They're the ones that pushed unconstitutional lockdowns. And then these same people are saying, oh, the Constitution to get these illegals out of here. When the martial law wasn't enacted. No, these governors and the Republican ones, but the Democrat ones held the longest lockdowns, the strictest lockdowns, and broke the Constitution. They didn't declare martial law. They just decreed lockdowns. And they ignore that. Oh, that's not, how is that not fascistic? They ignore the Constitution, right to assemble, right to peacefully assemble. But if you notice, they let certain groups assemble, like in the 2020 riots. You had like BLM, they let them protest, even though they want to shut down small businesses. The funny thing is, like, they act like they're for small businesses now, when they were trying to arrest small businesses for staying open during the lockdowns. They ignore that they are the fascists, and they come out like, technically, here's the definition. It's right-wing ideology. like a different faction can't adopt a different ideology. You know, they ignore the difference between communism and fascism or Nazism. They're basically the same thing. They're just like a cousin of each other. It's the same thing. Either way, you still lead to a king, a dictator. All the crap that they try to say that Trump is. And the mainstream media depicting Elon Musk as a Nazi, when Cory Booker made the same motion, is utterly preposterous. And the funny thing is, the weird thing is, Trump and Elon are against anti-Semitism. And these media propaganda, legacy media propaganda companies, their CEOs are Jewish. It's like, why are you hating on these two men who don't hate Jewish people, but you're siding with people who, like, you're trying to, it doesn't make any sense. Like, these radicals on the left, like, you see these, like, this leftists are becoming like radical jihadists. That's what they're becoming, with their scarves, the Free Palestine bullshit. Now listen, I'm against what Israel's doing when they're genociding kids in Gaza. I'm against it. I think Hamas is an absolute disgrace. I think that they are, they're pussies. They hide behind innocent people and fuck them. And fuck Israel too. Fuck them both. That's my stance. Another thing too is, another thing that I don't get is why the Christians are so enamored with protecting Judaism. It's like they reject Jesus, man. You should put them in the same boat as any other religion that rejects Jesus. Whether they're Muslim, whether they're pagan, they're Hindu, devil worship, whatever. You got to put them in the same line. It's like we have to, and I know I sound anti. I'm just saying the truth. I have no problem with Jewish people. I just don't understand like why they are treated so much differently than everybody else. I think that I just want people to be treated equally, fairly, regardless of their race or religion, as long as the religion isn't pushing their crap on me like the Muslim religion does. The fake the fake religion is a cult. It is. All Muhammad did was he took the Old Testament, rewrote it to make himself sound like a god, like he's somebody special. And it's just is there a lot of peaceful people? Yes. But there's also like people who interpret things and become radicalized. And it can happen in Christianity as well. I think Christianity is probably, this is why I don't have a problem with Christianity, because I think it's like the most peaceful religion in my lifetime. And people are like, oh, well, America's a Christian nation and it's like starting wars. Yeah, well, I don't think that the people in charge were really Christian, or, you know, all these wars that we're getting involved in for no reason. I don't think the people who are in charge, the bureaucrats or the elites, are really Christian people. They just use America as a vessel to get what they want. And they want control. Money, you gather all the money, you get control. And that's what it is. It's just trying to control people. That's why the Democrats are all against Bitcoin. Bitcoin is like the worst thing. That's why they want to ban it. China apparently just banned Bitcoin again because they want to control people. You can't control people with Bitcoin when it's decentralized. I'm not going to go too into depth about Bitcoin. So, like, yeah, it's just ridiculous the time we're living in. And then when like everything just seems so fake and fraud, and we're all we distract ourselves constantly with the phone, with the social media, with movies, video games, and then you come out into reality and it's like, this shit sucks, man. You go into these cities here in America, which they should be absolutely beautiful for so rich. Every single one of them should just be beautiful, crime-free. I should feel safe to walk anywhere in American society. I should feel safe. You know, you're always gonna have your outliner people who commit crime, but generally speaking, I should feel safe wherever I go. In any type of community, I should feel safe. And I don't. And it's all dilapidated. And seeing like the youth, how they don't think very far ahead. All they think about is right now. And I know that's typical with the youth. But like, they don't live in reality. The youth is our future. And when they don't live in reality at all, what's going to happen to the infrastructure? You already see the dilapidation of infrastructure. And it's like, we live in times where women don't trust men and men don't trust women. Yeah, men are weak. We don't feel like working hard. Maybe we lack testosterone because of our diet, because of what's in the water, maybe because of vaccines we've had. And you know, maybe why women are in the same way, why they are more masculine. Maybe because of birth control. A lot of different factors. I've heard of like the drugs going into our drinking water, like birth control, and that can affect us. Men, our testosterone. Obviously plastics in our balls. That has an effect. And the big thing is just not letting kids, just letting kids be in the complete digital reality instead of actual reality, and balancing it. Balancing both. And why this happens is because parents either split up, they use, like in my situation, I leaned heavily on the video games for my kids, you know, to be basically help me babysit, because I didn't have a wife. So like, you know, there's underlying effects from that with them. But yeah, there's no time for boredom anymore because everyone's on their phone, and I'm included in that. So you are seeing lack of creativity. I think that plays a factor, is people just never being bored and being able to think up of new ideas. Also the whole money situation, it's all just a business. It's not about like creating actual art anymore. I remember growing up, just like the big factor of like why I wanted to get famous, or you know, it's because I wanted to have status and money. You know, being poor sucks, man. I've been poor like basically my whole life, and it sucks. Like reality is cool if you're like rich, man. Like, yeah, being able to have expensive cars and not having to worry about if something breaks, you won't have the money to fix it. You know, if something happens, like you break a leg, like you don't have to worry about going bankrupt or becoming homeless if you're rich. Well, we have that struggle. Poor people do. And the funny thing is, like, I'm sitting here arguing with the people on the left, and they always like talk shit about me being uneducated. They always say this, you're uneducated, and they talk down to me, acting like I'm stupid or something. Where if they live my life, there's no way they would be able to handle living my life. I'll tell you that much. There's no way in hell. These people lack any type of intelligence outside of their being able to memorize shit. But the funny thing is they act like they're caring, and they care about the working class. They care about illegals. They care about these people so much. And it's like, dude, I think my intelligence is pretty sophisticated from where I'm at. I'm not the smartest person. I'm very humble. But like, I definitely have a lot of knowledge compared to like illegals that come here. So if you're saying that I'm stupid, then you're saying that they're stupid, because I know I have more intelligence than them. Not all, but most of them, they're low skilled. That, you know, they come here and just do low skill work. I'm not saying that I'm not doing low skill work, but what I'm saying is, like, at the very least, and I might have worded that wrong, I'm not. At the very least, I'm on their level of intelligence. So if you're criticizing my intelligence because I'm uneducated, you're criticizing all these people's intelligence too, who you're supposed to be supporting. These people act so arrogant. So arrogant because, oh, you don't go to college. Yeah, well, I think for myself. You know, I look at patterns. I have pattern recognition intelligence. What's interesting about that and self-awareness and awareness in general nowadays is a lot of people lack that stuff. When I was growing up, a lot of people didn't lack it. And things have changed dramatically in my lifetime. What I feel like is I don't feel like the youth is ready for what's about to hit them. I think what I'm hoping for is robots to come out here and basically save us. That's what I'm hoping for. To do our jobs, you know, so we have free time to do what we actually want to instead of having to go. Like, I don't mind working a part-time job doing something, but I hate having to work full-time and people, oh, you're like, oh, blah blah blah, like you don't like to work. Like, yeah, like, you know, like Tim Pool, dude is doing what he wants. He loves reading the news. You know, I guarantee you, he brags about working 16 hours a day, but I guarantee you he wouldn't want to work 16 hours a day in one of these factories. Or what he talks about is when he was a baggage person at an airport. I guarantee he wouldn't want to do that for 16 hours a day like how he's doing now. And that's cool. He made it. You know, a lot of people who start businesses don't make it, and they lose everything. It's a big risk. He took the risk, and he deserves to live a better lifestyle because he's taken that risk. My problem is when these companies and these CEOs, they make 300 times, 400 times more than the bottom worker. And then the bottom workers have nothing invested in the company. So we're just rented workers. We don't get health insurance that's worth a damn, and that's supposed to be looked at like a benefit. And it's just trash. It's like I'm paying for this health, like how much do I have to pay? When I'm looking at people on food stamps, dude, I used to be on food stamps when my kids first started out. I worked full time. I just didn't get paid enough to be able to make it, and I had Section 8. I ended up going back and getting my GED, stopped smoking weed, and I got a better job. So I got off of food stamps. How much of it is a slap in the face for? Because I look at like fast food or going out to eat as a luxury. How big of a slap in the face is it to the working class when you see people who are taking handouts from the government, from people like me, and being able to go buy those luxuries that I look at as a luxury? You know, the taxpayers are funding people who are needy. They're not working. I'm not saying, you know, old people, kids, disabled people, yes, these people should be taken care of. Well, there's plenty of able-bodied adults that they should be working and trying to get themselves off of food stamps, and they're not. And they just collect. They sit here and brag on making videos of their shopping hauls. They eat better than I do, and I work on the infrastructure. It's a joke. It's a joke. It's like we, the taxpayers, are funding these people to buy unhealthy food, and then we have to fund their hospital visits at the same time. So we're funding them getting sick, and then we're having to pay that bill to make them better, or just to keep them going. Isn't that crazy? Like, if you're on food stamps, if you need help from the government, it should be the bare minimum, man. You shouldn't be getting snacks. If you want that stuff, to get out here and work like the rest of us. But then you'll hear these rich limousine liberals who don't live in reality. They they're sitting there in their office jobs, which I can't wait till they're gone. I can't wait till AI just takes their jobs. If I had a company, I would be invested in having as little office workers as I possibly could. But they're sitting there, you know, one of the biggest ones is Ed Crestestein. Dude's sitting here in his mansion, gated community. He has a gate. Dude has a gate that goes to his house, which I think he has a pool. The dude lives in Florida. He's living it up. He's insulated from his beliefs. He's not out here like all of us. You know, the same people who are like, oh, communism, they love communism, like Hassan, whatever his name is, he's a YouTuber, famous leftist YouTuber. Dude's sitting in a mansion, he's saying he's a communist. Bernie Sanders has 3 houses. He's worth millions of dollars, and he's like advocating for communism. Like, same with the AOC. How much is she making off her social media? You know what I mean? Like, it's just a joke. Everything is a fucking joke. And guess what? When I try to like talk like about stuff like this with regular people, they look at me like I'm crazy. They look at me like I'm crazy. They look at me like I'm stupid. And I want to talk about this. Is what I want to talk about. I don't care about the weather. I don't care about making food. This is why I just want to keep to myself, because like this stuff is important and nobody cares. Like, I get it. Like, we need time to relax, watch the game, you know. And in fact, like, the Royals here just posted, oh, LGBT month. Like, fuck LGBT month, man. Nobody needs a month, okay? You want to have Pride Day, whatever, fine. You don't need a whole month. Nobody needs a whole month. I don't care whoever ideology you are, whatever. Nobody needs a history month, nothing. Have a day, whatever. You don't need, we just give people a whole damn year. Or give them multiple months. It's just like, where does it end? You know what I mean? I'm not, like, people who are gay or whatever, people who want to turn into trans, like, go ahead, man. Like, you do your thing. Like, just go do it over there. Like, I'm not gonna hate, like, I don't hate you. Like, I don't wish anything bad on you, but like, I just feel like it's being pushed onto, like, it's just unnecessarily being pushed onto everybody. And it makes me want to, like, rebel against it. That's what it makes me want to do. Like, the harder they push them, the more it makes me want to rebel against it. And I don't want to rebel against the actual people. I just want to rebel against the ideology. And that's the conundrum looks like. I look like a piece of shit because, like, oh, you hate these people. I don't hate them. It's just like, I'm not pushing my agenda on you. I'm not like, I need a straight month or straight white man month or nothing like that. Like, nobody needs that crap. Especially, don't be teaching our kids crap. If I want my kids to learn a certain thing, then they'll learn that. If I want them to have certain beliefs, then I'll have them have that. If I want my kids to be racist, or to love gay people, be anti-racist, or to be against gay people, that's what I'm going to teach them. Those are my kids. I had them. I'm paying the bills. Who are you to step in there with your moral high ground and try to teach my kids and try to make them, try to influence them to be something that I don't want them to be? When the kids go to school, they should be learning about stuff education-wise when it comes to math, reading, science, stuff like that. Not ideologies. And that's what it is. And we will see well, mark my words, we will see many colleges go bankrupt. Like Harvard. Look at Harvard. You know, the funny thing is about, like, Harvard is every single year, unless they got this, they are welfare sponges. They are rich welfare sponges. If it wasn't for us paying for them every year, they would be in the red. And once their reserves go dry, then they would go bankrupt. They would be out of business. You know what's funny? How these educated people who say they're educated and act like they're so much better than everybody and they're so much more smarter than everybody, they can't figure out how to pay off their student loan debts, and they want to use people like me, my tax-paying dollars, to pay it off, because they don't. They're smart. Like they're so much smarter than me. Then why can't they figure it out? Isn't that kind of weird? I always thought that was kind of weird how these people are so intelligent that they need to use taxpayer money to pay off their debts that they signed up for. And you know, I do feel bad for some of the kids who have been pushed into it because, you know, their parents who didn't know anything thought things, you know, the whole, when they were growing up, you go to college, you get a lot of education, and you know, it's smart people, and you get better jobs and stuff like that. But things change where I think, like, if you do any searches, and it could just be the internet, who the hell knows? It could be all fake. Like, I don't know what's fake and what's real anymore. I try to decipher the propaganda, but they say that, like, there's nobody hiring. There is people hiring, they're just not the jobs that they want to do, because they want to be doing the office jobs. And I think that there's a lot of office jobs there. I just think that the market is oversaturated with these diplomas, and there's no, but we don't have as much people working on the infrastructure. And this is why I think in the future, I don't know when, it's gonna be in my lifetime. You know, I'm thinking to myself, oh, the robots are coming out. You hear all this advancement in technology, this and that. You even see, like, fully automated fast food restaurants. All these workers are gonna be displaced, and I'm thinking to myself, well, yeah, I mean, factory workers definitely can be displaced. But, like, you know, like, the skills, and you'll eventually have, like, plumbers to, you know, gone, and every single job will be gone eventually. But it just, the infrastructure jobs will be the last to go, because the robots are typically, like, stationary. They're not very mobile. And if they create humanoid robots, or robots that they don't even have to look like humans, but they don't need anybody controlling them, I don't think we're there yet. At some point, yes. You know, we got the self-driving cars. People are going to be replaced with those jobs for sure. But I just think, like, doing the dirty jobs, those jobs are going to be rewarded handsomely, and they should be. The people who do the work, people like me, who do the hard work, the hard labor, who do the producing, who do the shipping, we're going to be the ones that are going to be looked at as high status in the future. You're not going to see these celebrities, these office people, like the office people, these mid-management, it's all going to be gone. Mid-management, like, they think that they're like, they're so special, like they're kings, they're so much better than us, and they're about to be gone. Their jobs are about to be gone. I say this: is it easier to replace or update an app on your phone, or is it easier to replace the whole phone altogether? That's why I equate to AI is like an app. Or like robotics, which at my work there's a robot. It stacks stuff. But creating that robot, that physical robot, shipping it, assembling it, like the job I just had, they're opening up an AI facility. You know how long it took to create that? It took at least 1.5 years, 2 years, almost 3 years for them to have it up and running. 3 years, 2.5 years. So it takes a lot longer to create infrastructure than it does software. So that's why I think that a lot of office jobs are just going to be gone. I could be wrong, but I know from what I heard is 30% will be gone by 2030. Yeah, and there's gonna be a lot of people displaced. You're gonna have some type of UBI. Our dollar is gone. There's no saving our dollar, okay? The fiat currency, I know it sounds weird, but we're not saving that. We're not gonna pay the debt off. We're gonna have to reform the system. We're not gonna be the world reserve currency no more. There's gonna be a lot of changes. A lot of people are about to be humbled. They're about to hit a brick wall. They don't even see it coming either. You're gonna have people that do really well who are anticipating this, and they're trying to pivot. For me, I don't think too far ahead. Like what I'm trying to do is basically right now I'm trying to just get in. I got a good job. If I can keep that job for the next couple years, get a place and get my credit back up. Then I could be more mobile and figure out what I want to do at that point. So my job is recession proof. I work with food. The only way I'm gonna lose my job at this point is if, even through a recession, because people still need to eat. Maybe I do lose my job. Who the hell knows? Is if they the company goes under, and as far as I'm concerned, I think the company's doing pretty well. For me, I help in my 12-hour shift. I help create like $120,000 for the company for my 12-hour shift, somewhere around that. By keeping the machines going, keeping the product flowing. I'm an essential worker. So I feel pretty good at my job as long as I don't screw up, you know. But I'm not trying to think too far ahead. I'm not gonna tell anybody I'm not in a good financial spot. I'm not. I can recover. But yeah, it's just like, I don't know what's coming. I don't know how soon the technology is going to evolve. I know a lot more than the average person, because I pay attention. I don't think the average person really pays attention. Not to say I'm better, because they can pay attention if they want. I don't think I'm more special. I'm just an NPC, man. I'm just a background person too. I'm not a main character. There ain't no, if I was the main character, my life would be a lot more cooler than it is. My life is so boring, shitty, a lot of self-isolation because I can't afford to do cool things. Do you think I want to go see the Himalayas? Yes. Think I want to go see the Great Wall of China? Hell yes. You think I want to travel the world? Yes. I don't have the money. It's more like, I don't want to be homeless, so I can't do shit. And you know, honestly, I don't want to work 80 hours. I'll burn myself out. I don't want to work 80 hours a week trying to make somebody else rich. I'm sorry, Tim Pool. I'm sorry, you entrepreneurs like Pat Bet David. I don't want to work 80 hours a week for the rest of my life to try to make someone else rich and barely get by and have to pay a lot of extra taxes. If it was my own business, yes. I'm sure if I had my own business, I would be like Elon Musk. I would be sleeping at the facility, working my butt off. But I don't have anything I'm that passionate about anyway. I really don't. There's not a single thing that I'm just like, that's my passion. So, I've been extremely humbled in my life. I continue to get humble, even though I feel like I've already earned my stripes, but life wants to continue to humble me. I can't feel good about myself, because once I start feeling good, I get knocked down. Just like, it's relentless. It's relentless. This life that I've lived feels pretty pointless at this point. It really does. It feels pointless. I feel like I haven't really accomplished anything, even though I feel like I have accomplished, because I wrote a couple of books, created a lot of songs, create content like this. You know, I've had a family, I've had kids. You know, I've accomplished a lot. I haven't been homeless. I haven't gone bankrupt yet. So I feel like a lot of, you know, and that's like, that's at this point in this day and age, that's crazy that that's an accomplishment, that you haven't gone homeless. You've dude, I wish I can just stay at the same company for 30 years. I wish I could, you know. It would be cool, you know. But you know, I look at life and I look at reality, and it's like, dude, reality sucks for me, because I can't afford to do nothing cool. And I see these people who are so entitled. They can do whatever they want whenever they want, it seems like. And they look down on people like me, and it's like, fuck you, dude. That's what it feels like. It's like, fuck you. You don't even understand. If we all just stopped working, you'd be the first to go. All you people who are showboating, who are living high on the hog, on your high horses, you know, have all your nice stuff and like showing off to everybody. You would be the targets if society broke down. You would be the first. You wouldn't survive, because your security would care about their family before you. You know, what are you going to give them? Paper money? Nobody's going to care about that. If people decided to say, fuck the system, fuck everything, you rich people will be the first to go. Unless you have robots protecting you, because like I said, your security would worry about their family before you. Your money wouldn't matter. Your dollar bills wouldn't matter. No one would care about it. And I don't want that to happen. I just want the people to understand, like, this is fragile. You know, society is fragile. It's like the human body. It's fragile. It can be broken very easily. And it seems like, you know, I'm looking at, like, Elon Musk has, what did I probably talked about it the other day with the black eye. It's, you know, when he's trying to uncover stuff, and he even said on the Joe Rogan Experience a couple of months ago, where he was afraid to like come out with the corruption. It was on the tip of his tongue to expose it, and he held back because he said, I would die, I would be killed. And it makes me wonder, like, people like Dan Bongino who are in there, and Cash Patel, how they really ain't doing shit. I wonder if, like, you know, who's ever really is in charge of everything, like, hey, we're gonna come after your family, we're gonna come after everyone you care about, and they just say, you know. And I'm just kind of like, what can I really do? What you know, I've done my part, I voted. What really could I do at this point? There's nothing that none of us can really do. We're not main characters, we're background people. We don't control much. We barely control our own lives. You know, there's not like Alex Jones. Oh, you're a part of the resistance. Like, what resistance, dude? Like, what are you talking about? You know, people. It makes me wonder. Like, they put this stuff out there to try to get ratings or whatever. Like, that's it. You know, Alex Jones continuously fighting the deep state. It's like, I don't know, man. It all seems fake. It all seems phony. It all seems scripted. Everything just seems scripted. That's what it feels like. You know, I'm seeing like the Democrats propaganda. When you hear the same keywords over and over from like a lot of different people, and they're basically saying the same thing, that's propaganda. They're reading a script, you know. And I see it all the time on Twitter. I see it all the time. They say the same things. The big things is here's what they all say. All these Democrats. The big beautiful bill just took 14 million people off of their Medicaid, Medicare, their food stamps, and they say that it's tax cuts for the billionaires. That's what they say. They never say millionaires, because that's what they are. And they never say that there's tax cuts for the working class and middle class too, because if that bill didn't go through, our taxes would have been raised heavily. And if our taxes were raised, I guarantee you, if you raise taxes on us right now, the bottom 50% of people, the working class, the middle class, the bottom middle class, we would stop working. Everything would come to a halt, because we're tapped out. We won't be able to pay our bills. It's like the government wants too much from us. We have to get off the fiat currency. It's trash. It's a debt-based system. It's slavery. This is where I came up with the enslaved one's name, because we're enslaved by fiat. Yeah, if we didn't have that, if they raised the taxes on us, the people who are, was it 1.3 trillion in credit card debt right now, the highest it's ever been, with all this inflation that we've had to endure, you know, they come out with all these stimulus, and people don't think ahead. They didn't think, you know, they're like, oh, now I got money, I can go on a vacation and just blow it on some bullshit instead of like actual assets. Now they have to deal with the inflation. Wages never keep up with inflation. You know, it's all, and we can't stop this. Either side can't stop the spending. It's not a matter of if we go to hyperinflation, it's a matter of when, how soon. The dollar's gonna hyperinflate. It's just gonna happen. All these rappers and these people flashing these dollar bills, the people in the future are gonna be laughing at them like, why are they like flashing toilet paper? Why are they flashing that trash? That's what people are gonna be looking at in the future when they see like these videos in the past of like rappers like big stacks of cash, and like, they are stupid. That shit's worthless. That's what people in the future are gonna think, because it is gonna be worthless. There's no stableness in the society. Everything is excelling very quickly, whether it's technology, whether it's our currency being like inflated. You know, there's no stableness at all, and they can't keep it stable. They have to do these booms and busts, because they're irresponsible. They're irresponsible spending. They let too many people go on welfare. They went to all these different wars. They funded all these different countries. Just bull crap that they've put on us. You know, I think the best advice I could give anybody at this point is I would say the best thing you can do is start custodying Bitcoin yourself. Learn Bitcoin. and treat it like a 401k. You know, you can do you have diversified portfolio where you have your stocks, but even BlackRock is saying get into Bitcoin, have 2% of your portfolio be Bitcoin at least. So you want to self-custody it. You don't want to just have ETF. You could have ETF as well, you know, the paper Bitcoin, but you need to learn how to get real Bitcoin yourself. And because the days of saving in dollar bills, and you might need like with this transition that's going to happen, you know, because that's what's accepted is fiat currency right now. But at some point you're going to see Bitcoin get more and more accepted. And you know, people think I'm crazy, but like, you know, marijuana was banned throughout this whole country until like, I don't know, 2017 or 2016, I don't know. 2 states came out, made it not illegal there in their states. Now basically it's legal in all the states except for like a few of them. Maybe like 10 or 5 have an outright ban, but it's legal to some extent. With Steak and Shake and now Square accepting Bitcoin as payments, even Tesla accepted as payments, you're gonna see more and more companies accepting it. Especially if Steak and Shake starts doing really, really well. They said that at the Bitcoin, whatever, the one that just happened, like the little conference, that they saved like 50% on transaction fees. That's huge. That's huge. And you want to learn how to buy Bitcoin. You want to learn how to sell Bitcoin. You want to learn how to have your own wallet, your own wallets of Bitcoin. You don't want to just have one wallet. You want to have multiple wallets. And I also think, like, and I'm going to stop talking about crypto, but because I think that people who talk about crypto are going to be targets in the future. They're going to be, people are going to be going after them. There was already this this guy that tried to do despicable things to this crypto billionaire or whatever in New York City, where he was like torturing him and tried to get him to give him his crypto. You know, you don't want people to know. I think that going forward, you don't want people to know how much you have. You want to be like under the radar. You don't want to be flashy and flashing all this like, oh, I got this and that. You don't want to do that. People are going to be coming on to hardships in different ways with this transaction into robotics. If we go into an age of abundance where robots do all of our work, and it's just like, you know, I think that like the use case will be like for crypto in the digital world mostly. You know, 30 years from now, who knows, quantum computers might just, you know, the whole thing with like Bitcoin and quantum computers is, you know, hacking into everyone. Well, they'll be able to hack. If they can do that, they'll be able to hack into anything. They'll be able to hack into the government, your bank accounts, like nothing will be safe. So yeah, me personally, I don't have much Bitcoin. I'm a poor man. I wish I had more. It'd be nice to have a lot. Like, I got a lot of my Bitcoin taken from me by FTX, BlockFi. So don't leave your stuff on an exchange. You want to custody your Bitcoin in some kind of a digital wallet, preferably like cold storage. And you don't want people to know your keys. You want to memorize your keys, so you have access to just learn about it, man. Take some time and learn about Bitcoin. You know, a lot of people aren't. I've heard that 50 million Americans have some type of crypto, which is huge. And I think that 37 million have like gold or something. But yeah, like that is probably going to be our media, one of our ways we exchange for goods in the future, until we have an age of abundance. I think that we might have some type of UBI, like I said before, where it disappears. You get your monthly allotment of some type of crypto or something, and if you don't use it, you lose it. I think we're going to have something like that. I don't know where it's going to come from. Maybe we'll have like big sectors of our economy that's just ran by robots and automation, and there's going to be a point where you have these companies that are making absurd amount of profit, and they don't have anyone they're having to pay. So like, yeah, you're gonna have to take from these people. Like they're gonna have to like, if they want to like continue their practice, they're gonna have to give back. This whole notion of just taking from everybody and not giving anything back like they've been doing, like the bottom workers, that's gonna come to an end. The youth don't want to work. The youth don't want to work. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if a lot of them did self-deletion. I wouldn't be surprised when they have to come out of the digital reality because they're forced to. Maybe their phones get shut off, they get kicked out of wherever they live. You know, maybe their bread and butter, who's been like keeping, like paying all their bills, that stops. They can't pay their bills no more, so they're like, oh, you have to get a job. And they're like, I don't want to do this. Well, we'll see what happens. I don't know, man. What I do know is, whatever the way things are right now, it's not going to be the same in 5 years, in 2 years. I've seen dramatic changes in my life, and some of the things that I've predicted, you know, might have rhymed what's happening right now, or might rhyme what's happening in the future. But I don't really know what's going to happen. I don't think that we're going to have social collapse. But I don't know what this is. Am I in some type of simulation? I don't know. It's weird. It's definitely weird. I know that we're disconnected from other humans. I know that like the rat utopia experiment is coming to fruition in some ways. I think that a lot of these cities, some of them will be restored and like refabricated, you know, kind of like, I think that like humans will be reorganized, and that's how it should be. You should have places where, hey, this is where your ideology is at, this is where you're going to be. We have to be separate from each other. We can't just be a melting pot of just random people anymore. We have to be around people who are like-minded. Whatever that may be, whatever the future holds, I think that we have to use capitalism to get to the age of abundance. I don't think that communism will get us to an age of abundance. I think that'll lead us off a cliff. That's what I think. I think we got to use capitalism, go hardcore as much as we possibly can into capitalism, so we get into an age of abundance, so we don't have to do this crap anymore. Are people going to have no purpose? Like, you can simulate jobs. I'm sure, like, if you don't know what to do with yourself, you can go work with the robots in a factory and do boring, monotonous. But the thing is, you don't have to. Right now, it's like we are forced to. If you don't do it, then you're going to starve or you're going to be homeless. There's no safety net for people, you know, and I think that's going to change in the future. I think that we will simulate. I think it's going to be lots of simulations, you know. We're going to simulate struggle. People, you know, you see it with rich people right now. They don't have a lot of struggle, so what do? They take ice baths because they need some type of like struggle. So they do this stuff because their life is so easy. Yeah, there's beneficial things when it comes to that, but the average person isn't doing ice baths. Why? Because they have enough struggling. And, you know, like you hear like rich people, like when rich people tell me to go to the gym, I'm like, fuck you. Why don't you work my life? Why don't you live my life and tell me to go to the gym? After I work my 12-hour shift, you think I want to go to the gym? Come and do it. It's easy when you're a YouTuber making tons of money, you're rich, like a Phil Labonte, like, go to the gym. I get it, like we should be healthy, but like your job is your job is a lot easier than ours. So go fuck yourself. That's what my message is to rich people who tell me to go to the fucking gym. Like, maybe I shouldn't have to work so much, because going to the gym is like a part-time job. I personally like going to the gym, but I don't need some rich person telling me to go to the fucking gym. Somebody that's on my level says go to the gym, cool. I have respect for that. When you're rich, don't tell me what the fuck is up. When you live my life, if you're out here living my life, you're going to the gym, you're working your ass off, doing grunt work, and you're still going to the gym, yeah, cool. I respect you. You're out here doing it with me. Now, you might have done grunt work back in your past, but now you live in a life of lavishness, life of abundance. You don't have to go to work if you don't want to. You can lose your job, you'll be fine. Don't fucking tell me anything. If I get hurt going to the gym and I can't work for a period of time, I'm fucked. That's the difference between these motherfuckers. They don't have to worry about it. You know, somebody like Phil Labonte goes to the gym, you know, tears a fucking muscle. He can still go to work because he doesn't have to anyway. He's fucking rich. Somebody like me, I'm fucked. So don't be telling me what the fuck is up. That's where I come. You know, people, that's where I come. Like, that's where I'm coming from. Come and live this life, then tell me to go to the gym. And in fact, I'm not inspired to go to the gym. The women nowadays, they don't inspire me. They ain't worth it much. They ain't worth me busting my ass for it. When I see like good looking women, all done up in makeup, high maintenance, I don't want to deal with that crap. Like, honestly, I'm a fucking 2. I'm ugly as fuck. A little bit out of shape. If I had a chance for a 10, no, I don't want that. Even if I had the resources, I don't want that. Oh, you're gay. No, I don't want to deal with her bullshit. She should be entitled. I have to work way too hard for her to stay loyal to me. I just don't feel like it. I'd rather have somebody around my level. It's just too much work and too much bullshit. And if it was all about looks, then I had the money, I would just get prostitutes. I would just go to a different country and buy prostitutes. If it's all about looks, then I won't have to deal with the bullshit. Here, get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? So, women nowadays, they're either heavily into their image, or that's all they care about, which you gotta have a balance. Care about what you look like for sure, but be a good person too. So a lot of people just aren't good people nowadays, and they're not good. They wouldn't make good wives, mothers, husbands, fathers. So I'm not one of these people that's out here, oh, have kids, because like Tim Pool and Elon Musk. And these people would say that people say I'm in a cult. You know what I don't like about Trump? His lavish lifestyle. I respect that he's worked his ass off to get where he's at, but lives like a king, man. Wouldn't want to have that type of life. Don't need that mansion, don't need that life. I don't like that. I don't like people. I respect people like Elon Musk, who realize that materialism is bullshit. It's like feminism is bullshit. Do we need necessities to get by? Yes. Do we need all this extra shit like golden toilets and shit? No. Like we're kings? No. If anyone could have that, it'd be Elon. Just sleeps on people's couches. So that's it.